So thank you guys so much for having me today. Not feeling super courageous, but we're going to go for it here. So here we go. I got to click. All right, so I got a chance to join the ladies on the lipstick economy during COVID. I had so much fun, but it's really fun to be here in person. It's really fun to be in here in Nashville. This is my second home. I do live in Los Angeles. I'm a huge Bruins fan. I married a Bruin. He's watching right now, so hi, babe. I love you so much. And by the way, when they talk about women and how hard it was to be at home, I do have 3 kids at home. My husband and I worked together at home, and I could not have done it without him. I got to give a shout out to the supporting men in our lives. So. I'm just going to step right into it. I was asked to speak about the success of our brand, and I procrastinated quite a bit, and it took me a minute to sit down, because the reality is we're a rocket ship. We've been on our feet for 4 years. We've been on planes, trains, and automobiles, except for about 1.5 years where we were all sitting behind our desks. And I had to think about it, and what I came back to is pounding the rock. It's one of our company's guiding principles, and it's something that every one of our team members does every single day. We continue to pound the rock until it breaks. And it's never been one thing or one initiative or one person, but a series of ideas, initiatives, and honestly, a lot of people up above looking out for us. We truly, truly do believe that. I'm sure you're wondering what this Chardonnay drinking, mother of 3 UCLA grad, hotel exec was doing, launching a whiskey brand, and every distributor I met thought the same damn thing, but here we are. So the truth be told, my hotel experience is why I'm here. I worked with Fawn Weaver, our CEO and founder, at a really cool hotel in Santa Monica, the Viceroy, if you've ever been there. We were there when it opened, and it was in 2004, and Fawn was the hardest working team member. And what I didn't know at the time, because I was in my 20s, I was working really hard, but going out and partying after work, and Fawn wasn't, because she was also an entrepreneur. She was running her own business on the side. She'd started her own business at 18, so hardest working person on our team also had all these side gigs, left the hotel business, became a New York Times bestselling author. 2015, I left my hotel job working for her on another project, and then one day she sent me an NDA. I signed it. She called me with Keith, and she said, we're launching a whiskey brand, and sorry, Steve, who is like my right hand everything. He's employee number 2 over there. He hears this story all the time. My literal response was, I drink Chardonnay. Like, I had nothing else to say at the moment. And then we dug into the story, and that's how we ended up where we are today. So really quick before I go any further, did anyone even know what Uncle Nearest Premium Whiskey was prior to today? Yeah? Okay, cool. Did anyone drink it? Who was brave enough to drink a little tonight? Yeah. All right, I love to drink it with club soda. It's a highball. Tell your girlfriends to drink vodka soda. There's like flavor in this. It's great. And it's the same calories, and vodka doesn't make you skinny. I'm sorry, it's just not a thing. So, all right, so I'm going to start with our story, and I'm going to go I got to go fast because I realize I got a lot to get through. June 2016, Clay Risen, a New York Times reporter, writes an article about a great American whiskey brand on their 150th anniversary, mentioning Nearest Green. Fawn Weaver reads that story, and this leads to a flurry of research and travel, landing her in Tennessee, by way of Los Angeles, by the way, landing her in Lynchburg, Tennessee for her 40th birthday. She lands there. People want to know why she's there and why she's asking questions. And she told every single person she met she was there to research a story she thought was about love and honor, and if she found out that it wasn't, she was done and she'd walk away. By the end of that weekend, she'd bought the Dan Call Farm. The Dan Call Farm, where Nearest Green was an enslaved man working and making whiskey on this farm, teaching a young man how to make whiskey. Pan forward to October 2016, she had the Green family, as many people as she'd found on her mission of travel around the United States. She gathered them in a room, told them about the Nearest Green Foundation, which is another talk, but look it up. And someone raised their hand and said, how about putting his name on a bottle? And so she did. So here we are, this is Fawn and I, in July 2017. Don't make those smiles were nice, but it was hot as hell, you guys. Are you kidding me? Here, but we launched in July 2017. And when we launched, we were telling the story of the first African-American master distiller on record. The best whiskey maker the world never knew. This is a story nobody knew, and I'll tell it to you as quickly as I can. But essentially, Nearest was an enslaved man on the Dan Call farm. A young Jack Daniel came to the farm at a young age. He'd lost his mother at childbirth, had a complicated home life, came to the farm. Eventually, Dan Call introduced Jack to Nearest and said, Nearest, teach him everything you know. And he said to Jack, this is the best whiskey maker I know. And so there began this story of mentor and mentee. Jack learned to make whiskey via what we now know as the Lincoln County process. It's a process of filtering whiskey through sugar maple charcoal. It's a process that can be traced all the way back to West Africa. We know that Nearest is not the only one that was using this process, but you know what? He was the one teaching and perfecting this process here to a young Jack Daniel. That process today is a key distinguisher. It is the distinguisher of Tennessee whiskey versus any other whiskey. You cannot call yourself a Tennessee whiskey without using that process, the process Nearest taught Jack. Let that sink in. That's why he's the godfather of Tennessee whiskey. But the story's not just about that. It's a story of a mentor and a mentee. It's a story that honestly in the last few years, it makes me emotional at times, but it's something that our country needed to see, that in the deep, deep South in the 1800s, it was a black man and a white man working together side by side, and post-Civil War, Nearest chose to stay. He stayed and he worked for Jack. He was Jack's first master distiller, and he was paid just like anybody else would be. And Nearest's sons stayed and worked for Jack, and to this day, Green descendants still work at the Jack Daniel's distillery. So that was our story. That was the story we had to tell. And by July 2019, we'd launched in 50 states, Washington, D.C., the UK, South Africa, Japan. I don't know if you guys realize that, but that's applause worthy. Go for it. Like, let's just do it, right? You gotta it doesn't happen. And the reason why is most brands come and they go 5 to 7 states. Let's see what happens. Wait and see, wait and see. We had a rocket ship. We had a story the world needed to hear, and we could not wait. So we went for it. And you know what? It was hard. We once tried to calculate all the miles that Steve Fawn and I logged in the first couple years, and it got exhausting and it was gross. I do like having executive platinum status on American, but otherwise it was a lot. But we're so proud of where we've ended up. This year in 2021, we announced we are the fastest growing independent American whiskey brand ever. Huge. And then in June, there was a New York Times article, and the reporter said, in fact, you were just the fastest growing American whiskey brand ever, independent or not. We'll take it. I know really at the end of the day who we are. We are the most authentic story and have the most incredible team, and we will not stop until we continue to live our purpose, which is to cement the legacy of Nearest Green, and that's why we're here. So we had to show everyone that we are investing in us and investing in our partners. Really quick, the spirits industry is different. We do not sell directly to a consumer. You have to get a distributor. It's a 3-4 tier system. They sell to a bar, a restaurant, or a store. They sell to the consumer. Any given distributor on any given month is seeing 70 plus new brands, and there's a bazillion distributors in the United States, so just imagine. We all know small businesses fail at a rate of about 20% in the first year. Spirits business is not immune to that. Imagine you can't even get a distributor. You are DOA before you've ever even started. It's also an acquisitions business. People launch spirits businesses to be acquired by the big guys. For instance, Brown-Forman, $4 million brand, owns Jack Daniel's. What happens is if I launch with distributor A, Brown-Forman buys me, and they're with distributor B, I have to be with distributor B now. Now, distributor A is like, what the hell? I just invested all of my money and all my time in you, and I get nothing. So there was a lot of skepticism about us coming to the market, and we just had to keep telling them we were here, we weren't going anywhere, we're here to cement the legacy of Nearest Green. We had to invest in us. So we launched our first commercial in July 2019 called The Why, launched it right after the Super Bowl. During Colbert, we did during the Academy Awards, and it was a story about the why, who we were and who our team was. During COVID, we doubled down. We kept our entire team employed. We doubled our workforce, and we invested in this amazing commercial. I wanted to show it to you, but I'm going to run out of time. It's on YouTube. So it's these two commercials right here. If you go on Uncle Nearest YouTube, you'll see the why, and you'll see this one. This is it's got a Motown vibe, and it just basically just touts us as the most awarded American whiskey or bourbon of 2019 and 2020. And if we did it this year, it'd be 2021 too. Just saying. Okay, so. Oh, I can't. Okay, I know. It's going to make you all get up and dance. Maybe if we have time at the end, we'll dance together. Earned media has been a big part of our strategy. So we did our commercials. We had digital marketing, but earned media is really how we launched. So again, the New York Times article that came out in 2016, when we launched, Clay Risen wrote another article in the New York Times talking about what Fawn had done. So that's huge. Fawn, entrepreneur, best-selling author, also a PR maven, tells the story in such an authentic and real. I mean, she's changed her whole life, you guys. She left Los Angeles. She left everything. She's in Tennessee. She's all in on this story to cement the legacy of Nearest Green. And she tells the story so beautifully and has developed so many amazing relationships with the press. These are just highlights of what we've done. I mean, for me, it was Al Roker at the distillery. I don't know, you guys, had it been on my list, I thought that was so cool. But, you know, and you can just look at all these, so exciting. So let's talk marketing strategy really quick. So here we are from a national perspective. We have our commercials, our digital, earned media is a huge piece. All of it is about mental availability. If you have not read yet the book, How Brands Grow, I highly recommend it. That's what we subscribe to in our company. We are here from a top-line perspective, creating mental availability, and meaning that you're driving to work one day, you're listening to NPR, you heard the Fawn Weaver interview, you go to Frugal McDougal's, there's a giant display, there's that Uncle Nearest again, you're on CNN tonight, you get served an ad. All this is leading to brand recognition the next time you walk in a store. Hopefully there's some conversion there. All right, so it's women. It's female time. We got to talk about the women. Okay, I hate to be the biggest bummer, but we don't market to women. We don't market to any one specific demographic. In fact, if we're here to cement the legacy of Nearest Green, we need to be marketing and telling the story to everybody. This story transcends gender, race, age, everything. So for us, we've always been a whiskey for everyone. I think this is an interesting stat, though. So right now, 30% of bourbon and whiskey drinkers identify as women. In the 1990s, it was about 15%. So that has grown. If you think about all the reasons why women aren't drinking it, just look at like film and from, you know, all the way back in time, look at TV and media. We have a lot of companies right now that are trying to recruit women with like hot female celebrity, you know, spokesmodels. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Johnny Walker created Jane Walker, so they're feminizing it. So there's some really fun stuff. But for us, we've always stayed true to our purpose, which is whiskey for everyone. All right, so we talked about our executive team. So this is us. It's like an album cover. It's so fun. The best, I have a video of when my 5-year-old was walking through Whole Foods and saw this, and he's like, "Mommy's mad." I was like, yeah, remember that face. But this is our team, and I just wanted to introduce you to our executive team. So we've got Miss Victoria Butler here on the right. She is, Victoria is, I can't get stuck because I'll keep talking about her, but she's Nearest great-great-granddaughter, just the salt of the earth, amazing person. Sherry Moore worked for Jack Daniels for over 31 years, retired, and came out of retirement to work with us. Fawn Weaver, just the dynamo right there in the front, like, do not mess with me, you know? And then I look like her bodyguard right there with her. But I think that there's been an influence, you know, I personally feel even it's like a microcosm of teaching even my small little group of mom friends, like, vodka's not everything, or, you know, like Chardonnay is great, but let's have a vodka drink, or I'm sorry, a whiskey drink, or whatever it might be. And I think we can influence women in that way, but we've never really meant to influence or to go after just women. But this is really fun. Okay. So this is our team, though. This is really the heart of who we are. So when I'm telling you we market to everyone, it's like, take a look. We've built a team that's 50% women and men. We have a team that it's every age, just demographically, it's everybody. Young, old, I don't like to say old, aged, because we're a whiskey company, we say aged. You know, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, different sexual preferences, whatever it is, however you identify, you are our team, you're more than welcome. And this is where we put like pen to paper, and this is where we show you our truth. This is who we are. And every one of these team members is a big part of our marketing. It's our grassroots marketing. We're in every major metro market with team members that are out there working on physical availability, again, from How Brands Grow. Okay, got it. And they're out there selling into bars and restaurants and stores and supporting our distributor partners. And then they're also working on local marketing activations to really bring liquid to lips. When I worked in hotels, it was putting heads in beds. Liquid to lips is really the simplified way of saying get people to drink the damn whiskey. And so that's what they're doing out there. And so I wanted to show you a couple of activations that they've done, and I'm going to move through them relatively quickly till I get to the end here. This was really fun. If you've been to the Hollywood Roosevelt, one of our team members created a whiskey luau menu and replaced all the tiki drinks with whiskey. Like, so fun for the whole summer, and then created all these really fun activations with fire dancers. So a great customer experience for hotels. As an ex-hotelier, my hotel friends have struggled beyond all words, you guys. And so for us, looking for ways to bring value adds this summer and to help them with costs and to help them create unique customer experiences was a huge win. I can't say enough great things about this one. Locally, the Nashville Super Speedway reopened for a NASCAR event this year after 11 years, and here we were on the premium section. We spent a whole weekend there with team members telling the story of Uncle Nearest and getting liquid to lips. And then imagine all of those people going back to their hometowns or wherever they came from. I don't think there's a better way for us to tell our story than to tell it person to person. This is why all of this, I love watching people's faces as they hear the story of Nearest and Jack. So this is happening real time, and they're having so much fun. I've got a little FOMO, but I'm having a lot of fun here, so we're okay. But there's a big group of team members on Martha's Vineyard right now. Our team member in Boston spent 3 months selling into Martha's Vineyard, every bar, restaurant, store. We are Uncle Nearest saturated there. Also, Barack just had his birthday party there this weekend. Like, I hope he was drinking some Uncle Nearest. I love this, just thinking about that. And then we've created a week-long activation. So Victoria and Fawn are both there, bottle signings, dinners, tastings, everything. The impact of that is so great because it's not just about saturating Martha's Vineyard, but there's everyone on vacation. So they're there enjoying, and they're there spending their free time learning about this brand and meeting our team, and then they're gonna all go back to their hometowns and talk about their experience. And it's not just about drinking the whiskey, but it's about the brand and a feeling, right? And that's really what it's all about, that they're gonna all feel really, really good. So they're having a great time. I'm getting on the plane with them next year, I'll tell you that. So I always say, okay, we didn't have a playbook. And, on that cover, there was 3 of us that had no spirits experience. So legitimately, we didn't have a playbook. We created our own. We wrote our own plays, is what I like to say. My dad was a football coach, so maybe that's where I got it. I don't know. But we wrote our own plays. But we stayed completely cemented in our purpose, our why, our mission, to cement the legacy of Nearest Green, the godfather of Tennessee whiskey, so that 20 years, 30 years, 200 years from now, you will walk into a bar or restaurant anywhere in the world, you will see Nearest Green's name, you will see Jack, Jimmy, Johnny, whomever else, but you will never forget who Nearest was and what he contributed to whiskey and to our history. So you gotta stay purpose-driven, always looking at that. Our target demographic is you, it's me, it's you, it's you, it's you, it's everybody. How Brands Grow identifies us all as a light premium spirit buyer. If you're buying premium spirits 1 or 2 times a year, I'd like to encourage you to buy some Uncle Nearest. That's the net that I'm putting out to you. Our team speaks for itself. I could be emotional and talk about them all day. I love every one of them. They all have their own unique pieces of themselves that they bring to our story. And without them, I don't know where we are, because every one of them is so purpose-driven. When we first launched, people were like, well, what are you doing? And then in the last couple of years, it's like, can I work for you? I'll move to, wherever it is, but I want to work for you. I want to tell that story. I want to feel good going to work every day. And then earned media, obviously. Look, you see Al Roker drinking some Uncle Nearest, you're going to want to drink some Uncle Nearest. So it's like, Oprah put us on her favorite things list last year. That's authentic. The authenticity of our earned media has just made us who we are today, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think I did it. I think we got there. I'm sure I left something out, but I just want to thank you all for sitting and for listening. I want to thank everyone for the opportunity of bringing me here today. I want to just encourage you guys to continue to tell this story. It's just like a shameless plug, but we're on Instagram and we post some really fun stuff. Our website as well, if you're in your local neighborhood wondering where you can get an Uncle Nearest, we're there. And next time you're out for a drink, just raise a glass to Nearest and to Jack, and thank you all so very much.